What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the first real-life roller coaster build in Roller Coaster Tycoon 2 on this channel. So this video is actually a collaboration with Mickanman's RCT station. Me and, incidentally, we both happen to be named Andrew. Both of us decided that we wanted to design a roller coaster that exists in real life and build it in the game. And basically our this collaboration is sort of a way to see kind of display different building styles. So basically what we're going to be doing is we're going to be building the same roller coaster in the same the same roller coaster with the same rules, same restrictions, and we're going to see how they turn out. See if what we did differently, what we did the same, and sort of compare notes, so to speak. So in this first one, we wanted to do something a little bit more simple. So we went with a roller coaster at Cedar Point called Blue Streak. So if you've watched my viewer suggested designs video, the very first one, someone suggested that I do an out and back wooden coaster, and it's that coaster looks a lot like this one. That's because it was sort of based on Blue Streak at Cedar Point. So that was on purpose, and we decided that would be sort of a good base to start with to figure out how to, because truthfully I've never done this before. I've never tried to recreate a real life roller coaster before. I've always just kind of tried to build my own thing, and I'm not really a real life theme park designer person, so I don't really know I don't know the mechanics and engineering of how a roller coaster is supposed to behave. So this was a unique thing for me, trying to do something hyper realistic like this. So basically the first thing we did was I just tried to kind of build this layout first. The big thing was trying to decide if I'm gonna go with the white theme or the blue theme. So it turns out this roller coaster, I think, has been repainted before, or it may have gone through different iterations, where the support structure was actually white at one point, and it's also been blue. So I thought the blue looked more interesting. I thought it popped a little bit more, and so I went with the blue. But if you look online, I've looked at some reference photos to see, and apparently it's been white in the past, I believe. So that's just a fun fact about Blue Streak, is that it's been white streak, apparently. So I went with the blue theme, and I tried to get as close as I could with this layout. Like I said, it's a pretty simple design. It's basically, it just goes out and back. It has a few airtime hills and then comes back around, has a few more airtime hills that are parallel to it, and then just comes right back to the station. So pretty simple. Like I said, pretty simple design, but getting it exact and recreate it as close as I could it's tough. Mainly because I messed up a couple of things. First thing I messed up was I actually missed one of the drops. There's actually a hill that I forgot to put in, and I didn't realize until partway through this recording. So I had to go back, fix that, and add in an extra hill. And then also, when I originally built this, I decided to go with a banked turn at the end, just because the real life coaster has a banked turn, and I felt like that would be the most accurate representation. However, the map I made was a little bit too small to accommodate having a banked turn, and so I had to unbank the turn and leave it the way it is, and hopefully that's okay, and hopefully that's not a horrible misstep there, but hopefully that's okay. And then the third thing that was an issue that I had was that like I said, because this map was a little bit too small, I kind of built this map a little too small. I think the station platform was a little bit shorter than it is in real life. So this building is actually a lot longer. It has a longer station. And unfortunately, I just sort of messed that up as well. Other than that, I think it looks pretty solid. Other than those three glaring differences, I think it hopefully looks somewhat like the real life thing. As far as the station platform goes, I felt like this was relatively close. It is a white building with sort of a black roof, and then this sort of blue logo on the front of it. And then this was something that I don't know if this is super common, but there's sort of a tunnel that leads into the station right at the end. When you come back to the station, there's like sort of a break section, and then this sort of tunnel that leads back to the end, back to the station. And I felt like that was sort of a unique thing that I thought made it a little bit. It actually made it a little bit challenging, if I'm honest. This was something that I hadn't planned on when I designed this coaster. Was this sort of tunnel leading into the station. Is it bad? No, but it was definitely a challenge to figure out how I was gonna appropriately build this out and make it look the way it needed to. And hopefully I pulled it off. I know there's probably going to be a lot of, I'm some people that are some real aficionados that really know what they're doing that might say like, oh, this isn't the right angle, or this doesn't look quite the way that it needs to. And you're probably right. But hopefully I got it relatively close. I tried to kind of do this diagonal, roof pieces to kind of accommodate that, that angle where it comes back into the station. So again, you kind of work with what you got. I think this part turned out okay for the most part, and I think this looks about the way that it needs to. So yeah, that's that part. So as far as the rules for that was something I forgot to mention that we did actually kind of me and Andrew sort of created some ground rules for these videos that we're going to be doing. So like I said, we're going to be collaborating on this video. He will be designing the same coaster, and we're going to be sort of comparing notes, see what we did differently, what we didn't, what we did the same, and just sort of compare and see what was, how we did. And one thing we decided was that we can use as much detail as we want or as little detail as we want. Doesn't really matter. The only thing that does is we decided that let's stay away from building other rides in the area. So basically what that means is that if there's like, I believe there's sort of there's a go-kart track that's nearby, and there's a thrill ride that, like a sort of pendulum ride that is next to this coaster. And we basically said, let's nix that. We're not going to build any of these thrill rides, otherwise this video is going to take forever. So basically the rule was no rides. We can use scenery, we can use terrain, we can use paths, we can use whatever we want to make this look as realistic as possible. But that's it. Now, speaking of realism, one thing I did take some creative liberties in putting in some trees just because I thought it did look a little bit bare. In real life, there's not really nearly this many trees that are planted nearby, but I thought I just thought it filled up the space a little bit better, and I don't know. I just wanted to kind of add a little bit of flair to it, and I couldn't help myself. So that was one thing that I definitely did to kind of make it a little bit that I kind of took some creative liberties there. And then so now we're going back and kind of fixing the layout of the coaster, which was, like I said, there was a area of the coaster where I forgot to add in a drop. So now is where I kind of go back and I go in and fix that, and I make sure that I fix that. So like I said, this turn is unbanked because I couldn't fit it onto the map. So it's got this. So now it's an unbanked turn that admittedly doesn't take it very. The train, it doesn't affect the stats too bad because the train doesn't go too fast through it, but. In real life, that is a banked turn. I am aware of that. It's just poor planning on my part. So, like I said earlier, we were not allowed to use any rides nearby, but we were allowed to use any sort of amenities that are nearby. And in terms of the relation to where this coaster is relative to the entrance, this roller coaster is actually right next to the front entrance of the park. And basically, the two things that are in the vicinity of this roller coaster is the front entrance and these sort of these pavilion awning areas. I thought they looked kind of interesting. It's these sort of metal white awnings where I guess it's sort of a pavilion where you can have a party and eat. sort of like corporate thing, I imagine. And so I decided to build those out, and just to sort of add in a bit of realism, you know, because those are there in the real theme park, and I thought that they look different, unique, and I thought it would sort of make it look like the real thing. So that was the thought process there, and I had to kind of mess around with these a little bit and figure out the right pattern for them, and figure out the right orientation for these. You know, I had to look at a park map of Cedar Point to look and see what they were supposed to look like, and where they were in relation to the roller coaster, where they were in relation to the front of the park, and all that stuff. So hopefully I got relatively close. I don't think I nailed it, but I think I got somewhat close, hopefully. And hopefully that's what they're supposed to look like. So that's mostly it as far as the details of the park go. If you want to check out Andrew's Park, Mickanman's RCT station, I'll have a link for his video and his channel at the end of my video, or actually I'll put it on the screen right now. So make sure to check out his build. We did some things similar and we did some things different. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure to check out his video as well. And that's going to be it for me. Thank you guys very much for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.